Hi YouTube family. Welcome back to Recording Movies Recap. Today I am going to explain a Hong Kong martial arts action comedy film called Snake in the Eagle's Shadow. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The Snake Fist clan specializes in the snake style of fighting in Kung Fu. For the past 100 years, the Snake Fist clan has had a rivalry with the Eagle Claw clan that specializes in eagle-style fighting. The Eagle clan has made it its mission to kill every single member of the Snake clan and remove the style of fighting altogether. At the beginning of the movie, one of the last surviving members of the Snake clan is challenged by Chien Fu, an Eagle Claw master. The two battle using their respective style of fighting, but the Eagle Claw is evidently more powerful than the Snake Fist. Chien Fu vows to kill his opponent and end the Snake Fist's legacy. However, it is revealed that a Snake Fist master named Pai is still alive. Chien Fu kills his opponent and goes on in search of his final and only opponent, Pai. Meanwhile, Pai is living a low life as a beggar. He hardly earns any money and lives off scraps. One day, while he is sleeping on a hammock made up of a single rope, someone barges inside the room and startles him. It turns out that the landlord has brought a thug to evacuate Pai since he hasn't paid the rent in a month. They search around the room for money but find a snake instead. When they are distracted, Pai swiftly grabs his rice bowl and a pair of chopsticks and runs outside. He is surrounded and attacked by a gang. Using the bowl and chopsticks, Pai defends himself without much effort. Even though his opponents carry knives, his chopsticks are able to overpower them. One of the thugs bumps into an Eagle Claw member Su Chen while trying to run after Pai. When the thug describes Pai, Su Chen realizes that they just encountered a Snake Fist member, but by then, Pai is long lost. Following that, we are introduced to the protagonist of the movie, Chien Fu. He is an orphan adopted by a short-tempered, eccentric Kung Fu teacher named Li. Li profits by scamming innocent students, promising to be a Kung Fu expert when his skills are merely average. He frequently abuses Chien Fu physically and makes him do all the cleaning. Chien Fu wants to learn to fight, but even though he works in a Kung Fu school, he is never given the opportunity to train. One morning, Li is resting while the students practice as usual. Chien Fu watches them and tries mimicking their movements, forgetting to sweep the floor. Li notices, hits him with a stick. To trouble the kid even more, he walks around with white powder under his shoes, making him sweep the floor twice. Later, Li uses Chien Fu as a prop to teach his students a new form of fighting. He orders Chien Fu to not dodge the attacks and beats him up as an example. This is not the first time he has used Chien Fu to make himself look like a Kung Fu expert. Chien Fu is frequently beaten up, but he has no other way to make a living. The only person who sympathizes with him is the school's cook, when even offers to apply medicine to his wounds. Somewhere else, Pai ends up in front of another Kung Fu school in the town and decides to take a rest. Inside, a wealthy businessman and his overweight son Lap Ban have come to check if the school is good enough for Lap Ban's admission. The head teacher boasts about his trainees being the best in the town, but Lap Ban is not convinced. He asks a student to break a stack of 3 bricks with a single blow. The student does as told and manages to break them all. But as soon as he is out of Lap Ban's sight, he yells in pain while holding his hand that is now starting to turn blue. Moments later, Lap Ban tries to shake his hand and realizes that he was only pretending to be tough. The father and son leave to get admission to Li's school instead. After that, the students see Pai resting outside and take their frustration out by beating him up. Pai doesn't defend himself, afraid that someone might notice his presence. Chien Fu sees this and stops them from hurting the poor old man. When the students attack him, Pai uses his tricks to make Chien Fu fight. He stands behind Chien Fu and pushes him around so that he can dodge the attacks. During the fight, a Russian religious missionary notices Pai and rushes towards him. In reality, He is a spy who has been appointed by the Eagle Claw clan to find and eliminate the last surviving member of the Snake clan. Pai notices him and runs away with Chien Fu before he can be caught. Following that, Chien Fu brings Pai to the school and makes tea for him. He also asks the old man to stay the night because he must be injured. Pai is impressed by his kindness. Meanwhile, Lap Ban and his father are in a meeting with Li, who boasts about his training. Lap Ban doesn't believe him and asks them to break 3 stacked bricks. Li laughs at him, stating that he can show them a real fight instead of mere bricks breaking. He calls Chien Fu and orders him to take the beating from one of his students. An excited Lap Ban watches as the fight starts. Chien Fu is beaten up yet again, but he cannot dodge the attacks, scared that he will have to starve the next day. By the end of it, Lap Ban is impressed by Chien Fu's opponent's skills and agrees to take admission to the school. Chien Fu walks back to Pai with several cuts and bruises on his face when he returns from his trip. He also emphasizes to keep his arrival a secret from Pai because he wants to surprise his old friend. A naive Chien Fu believes him and agrees to help him. On reaching home, he sees his pet cat fighting a snake. Even though at first glance, the snake looks more dangerous, it is proven to be weak against the cat's paws. This gives Chien Fu an idea to mix the paw technique with the snake fist technique to make it more dangerous. Somewhere else, Pai returns to the town and is immediately confronted by Su Chen. At first, Su Chen pretends to be dead and attacks him with a knife. He believes Pai was stabbed, but turns out he was ready to dodge the attack. They get into a fight where Pai overpowers him with his expertise and kills him. Following that, he goes to meet Chien Fu, who is overjoyed to have him back. They ask the cook for tea, but the man mixes poison in it. Just then, Chien Fu remembers Shun Quan and rushes to tell him about Pai's arrival. But when they return looking for him, Pai has already fled. Shun Quan predicts where he is heading and runs after him as Chien Fu follows them. On his way, Chien Fu is stopped by the Russian missionary who wants to kill him. They get into a fight where the missionary has an upper hand because of his sword. Chien Fu gets his clothes torn but still manages to defeat him in the end. Somewhere else, Pai meets Shun Quan. He has had enough of running and wants to fight to put an end to the century-long rivalry between their clans. The fight starts and initially, they seem to match in expertise. But Shun Quan soon overpowers him and is about to kill him when Chien Fu interrupts them. To save his master, he asks Shun Quan to fight him instead. Pai tries to stop Chien Fu, knowing that he is not trained enough to defeat Shun Quan, but he doesn't back down. Soon, they launch at each other and Chien Fu immediately manages to scratch his opponent's face with his new invention, the cat claw technique. By the mixture of the snake fist and cat claw, he creates a unique deadly technique that defeats the eagle claws in no time. In the end, Shun Quan is also defeated. As the master and student are about to leave, the cook approaches them and tries to stab Chien Fu. Pai stops him effortlessly and inquires why he is doing this. It turns out that he is also a spy from the Eagle Claw clan. He laughs knowing that they are about to die of the poison he gave them earlier, but Chien Fu reveals that he had exchanged the tea because it was too hot. In the last scene, the cook remembers that he drank the poison tea. The poison's effect starts to show and he dies instantly. In the last scene, Pai compliments Chien Fu for inventing such a powerful new technique. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thanks for watching.